You live?
Almost. Welcome. Or shall I say, what's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, you guys? Welcome. Come on in the room. Happy Tuesday. We are coming at you live again on this Tuesday. I am. I'm probably a little. I've been moving too much in these last hour. Nothing. Not before this hour, but in this last hour. But all is well. How are you doing today, Antonio?
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm okay.
You're okay.
I'm good. I mean, just got work to do. That's about it. You know.
Absolutely. Okay. Come on in the room, y'all.
Make sure y'all can hear us.
Absolutely. Hey, Miss Yolanda. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Yasmin. Yasmin says she can hear us. Awesome. So
Can you say that?
I was about to. Hey, y'all. I see y'all. What's up, Miss Edwards?
We are doing some case studies today, y'all, of some deals that are actually one of them closing today. But just some different case studies on how people are structuring deals and how they're doing deals. I know a lot of times we talk about bits and pieces of a lot of different things, but today I kind of wanted to talk about from start to finish, kind
What
of
it looks
what a
like.
complete deal looks like.
Yeah, if you've ever wondered, like, how can I make over 30,000 on a deal without using any of my own money, like this is going to be the training for you where we talk about what it looks like to be able to structure a deal and know that you truly have a deal to be able to do it. All right. Um, I want to make sure that as we're doing this, if you guys have any questions, make sure you ask your questions because again, this training is for you and we want to make sure you get the most out of it. What's up, fam? So join in. Let me turn the sound off.
Make sure you guys get your ticket to the Dynamic Funding Tour that's coming up.
It will be on May 1st, but there are limited spots available. So don't wait till the last minute and say, Ash, can I get a ticket? I'm trying to go. There are literally limited spots available in this
It
location.
was wall to wall on in the last one. So
It was.
get in the room. We're gonna be talking about more of these type of things. Get in the room.
Yeah. So without further ado, I want to jump on in, Antonio, and I want to talk about the different ways that you can fund a deal. All right. So before we jump into the case studies, we're going to talk about the different ways that you can fund deals and what they are. All right. So we call it OPM, and that means other people's money. And that's not using your own money, but leveraging other people's money to be able to invest in real estate. All right.
And the thing I would say about OPM is a lot of times you don't look at OPM um, as OPM because it's been around you and you most of the time use it for different things.
Yeah.
You might use it to fix up your house. You might use the money to go on a trip. You might use the money to consolidate a loan.
In fact, most people use it to go on trips. I know when I was growing up, we that was primarily what we did. Like OPM was used to fund our vacations, to fund our trips, to fund college funds, to fund pretty much everything. That's what OPM was used for. And again, OPM is other people's money. All right. So make sure, as we're saying it, if you got any questions, we talk about it. All right. So the first form of OPM is a HELOC. All right. A HELOC stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. All right. When Antonio said most people use it when it comes to fixing up their house, some people, if you have equity in your house, you may have pulled out the equity in your home and use that to either upgrade your house, to either take a trip or vacation, or to even invest. All right. We like to use HELOCs for investing. That is a very good source of OPM being able to invest without it being your savings, without it being your hard earned cash. All right. Another one is self directed IRA. You want to talk about that, Antonio?
Yeah, well, let me talk now.
Tag. Now what?
Self-directed IRAs. Uh, a lot of times when you leave jobs, a lot of times when things happen, some people don't take their IRAs, their retirements with them, their 401ks and those type of things. There is a tool called a self-directed IRA that you can roll a 401k, a retirement over into that you can use to invest in real estate. All right. So self-directed IRA. That's just one of the tools that you can use.
Yeah, and it goes with the 401k. You can use that 401k, roll it into that self-directed IRA, and it allows you to invest. You can invest in real estate, you can invest in stock, but it allows you to control where your investments go. Because when you're using a 401k at your job, you don't control where your money is going. But in a self-directed IRA, you literally can control what your where your investments are going, what it's funding. IULs is the next one, and that is when it comes to insurance. People who have insurance policies that will let you add money to it and pull money out. A lot of people use that for investing purposes. For one, it's not attached to a property. That's the good thing about it. But you're able to use that money without it being your savings. Depending on how much insurance you have, determines how much you can get to fund your deals.
We talk about this all the time. Hard money. We call it real estate funding. It's asset-based lending. It's your non-traditional banks. They will lend you the money to buy it, to buy the house and fix the house up. So hard money is another form of OPM.
Yeah, and then we got private money. All right, and I know we're giving you guys a lot because we want you to start looking at the world differently. We want you to start looking at the things around you differently to know that there's absolutely no limitations when it comes to funding your deals. So the next one is private money. And private money is your neighbors, your friends, your spouse, your cousins, your parents, like people, your barber, your mailman, people who are literally around you that you know, that you have access to. They have money sitting in the bank that is making no returns, and you can use that money, invest in real estate, and provide them a return. All right. The returns can be structured however you want to structure them, but instead of it sitting in the bank and making absolutely nothing, you can help them build wealth by making money off of it.
You can get personal loans, and I know a lot of times that's a no no, but just understand that personal loans is a form of OPM. Mm-hmm. If you can get a personal loan for $30,000 and take that 30,000 and get it to a fix and flip loan, that's OPM. You're not using none of your money to do the deal.
And I know we're not talking about this student,
so why you gonna say it?
Literally, we had a student to get over 90,000 in personal loans, and they were able to do 2 deals at one time, and then still have money to pay off their personal credit cards to just increase their credit score. So it's deals all around you, y'all. Next is business funding, Tonio. Business funding may be one of our favorite ways to do deals without using any of your own money because most of the business funding loans are literally interest free for 12 to 18 months. So you're not paying any interest, unlike what you would pay a private money lender for using that money. So the bank essentially becomes your partner on the deal.
Seller financing. There's different seller financing options, whether it's owner financing, whether it's subject to financing, whether it's lease option financing. Those are different ways that you can use OPM to do real estate. Now, the one thing I want to say about all these options, well, most of these options come with some type of interest payment. Mm-hmm. There's some type of fee for using these type of funds. All right. And the one thing that I want to stress to you is reverse engineer the deal. Mm-hmm. All right.
What does that mean?
And what I mean by reverse,
can I see if they know what reverse engineer the deal means?
Sure.
Yeah, what does reverse engineer the deal mean? What is Tonio saying when he says reverse engineer the deal? Drop it in the chat. I want to see if anyone knows what you mean when you say reverse engineer, because I know the first time that I heard that word, I had no clue, and it came from one of my friends slash mentors. I had no clue what he was talking about, and I was just like bobbing my head, like okay. And then later in the conversation, he started to break it down and give an example, and I was like, "Now, how I was supposed to do that? I didn't know what that was." Okay, I don't see anything so far, Tonya, so I think you need to tell him.
Right. I think you gotta kind of like whatever. But reverse engineering is start with the end in mind. I mean, you want to write a whole paragraph? You know we delayed anyway.
Wait, go ahead. Start with the end.
Reverse engineer means start with the end in mind. Let's calculate how much money can be made from doing the deal. Mm-hmm. And then you work your way down to see how much the money is going to cost you. Mm-hmm. Don't get caught on how much the money costs. Get stuck on how much can I make from the deal.
Yeah, I've literally seen people walk away from a deal because they were going to pay interest over 6 months that was going to cost them $1,500. But because the interest was double digits, they were like, oh no, this is too high. I can't. But what's $1,500 if you're making 40? What's $1,500 if you're making 20? If you never use any of your money. So literally, let's start shifting our mind and saying, okay, like Antonio said, what's the end goal?
I was saying.
Like Antonio said, what's the end goal? And what do we want to make? How much is it going to cost? And does it make sense at the end of the day? You work my nerves. All right. Any questions so far, you guys, about those different types of OPM?
And that's just high level view. We're going to go in more detail at the dynamic funding tour on exactly how to use these things, how to structure these things. But this is just a high view of different ways that you can use OPM to do real estate.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ward. Ward said, look at the deal on the back end after completion.
Thank you, Ward, for answering her question.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about the first deal, Tonya. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. So the first student deal, and we're gonna talk about how much the profit was, but we want to start from the beginning and work you guys' way to the end. All right. This deal was in Ensley. The student found it from a wholesaler. It was literally not listed on the MLS. It was with a wholesaler.
Okay, Ashley. What's a wholesaler, Ashley?
Okay, and let me say what an MLS is. MLS is where realtors list houses that are actively for sale in the market. All right. It is a platform in most states. You can see it. In some states, you have to be a realtor to have that access to see what houses are available. All right. A wholesaler is a master marketer, in my opinion. All right. And I say that they're a master marketer because they are the people who go market to sellers to find deals. And then they put it under contract, and either they put it under contract. And when they put it under contract, they find investors like Antonio and myself. And they say, hey, I have 123 Main Street for sale for $50,000. But I will sell you my contract. I will sell you my interest in the property for $56,000. All right. And if it's a deal, Antonio and myself will say, heck yeah, let's close. And the reason why we'll say heck yeah is because we didn't have to pay for marketing. We didn't have to negotiate with the seller. We didn't have to meet the seller. We didn't have to take time out of our schedule. We are literally saving on marketing dollars because the wholesaler is the one that's marketing. So we are direct with the wholesaler so that we don't have to spend those unnecessary coins when we can just get a deal.
Okay.
All right. So you want to talk about this deal?
This property came from a wholesaler. We found them in the different wholesale groups on Facebook. Mm-hmm. He was actually from New York and he was wholesaling in Birmingham. This is our first deal that we did with him. So we found the property through a wholesaler. All right. If you don't know what a wholesaler is, go back and listen to Ashley. Start getting on their buyers list.
Mm-hmm. All right. So after we found the deal and we locked it up under contract, we got a hard money lender for purchase and rehab on this deal. And the hard money lender, when I say purchase and rehab, that does not mean that you're not going to come to the closing table without any money.
Got 100% financing.
It was 100% financing. However, that you still have to have some skin in the game. You got to pay for your insurance up for a year. You got to pay for your closing fees from the attorney, your closing fees from the lender, your points, your interest. Those things are paid up front.
Now, one thing I will say is, Ashley said you got to have some skin in the game, but that doesn't mean that skin got to come from your pockets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on this deal here, this skin came from business funding.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the $12,000 that we use to do this deal came from business funding. So yes, to the lender, there's skin in the game, but to us, we use business funding.
Absolutely. And let me say this: all hard money lenders aren't created equally. Some will actually require you to put 20% down to make the deal work, or 10% down. The hard money lender that we recommended for this deal was actually 100% purchase and rehab. You just had to pay point interest and their fees.
Yep.
All right. So
we know how we found the deal through a wholesaler.
Mm-hmm.
We funded the deal through hard money and business funding.
What y'all want to know next? Put it in the chat. What do you think comes next? We know how much we funded the deal. We know where we found it from. Now, what's the next logical step? Do you feel like is next?
I don't know if it's logical.
Maybe not logical. Which step do you feel like is next?
What are you missing?
What are you missing from this?
I don't know what the question that was.
Let's see. Yep.
Somebody got it right?
Yep.
Oh, you got lucky.
Right. So your rehab is what's next. How much rehab did it require? So this project took $60,000 in renovations to make it from start to finish.
Yeah.
All right.
And I would definitely say that $60,000 included adding a bathroom. That $60,000 included repairing one of the exterior walls and re-bricking it. That $60,000 included painting the inside, painting the outside, leveling the floors, updating the kitchen and the bathroom. So we made that $60,000 work on this project.
Yeah. All right. So next is, how did they exit this deal? They actually exited this deal as a seller finance. It was for $220,000. Is how much they sold it for from a seller finance strategy. And I know you're like, what do you mean by a seller finance strategy?
Seller financing is when the owner of the house becomes the bank, and they will owner finance the property to the buyer. So in this situation, and we didn't necessarily want to get you too off track. We did what's called a wraparound mortgage in this situation. So we refinanced on the property and pulled back our initial investment of $12,000. It was probably about $20,000 altogether because of our interest payments that we made while we had it. So we pulled back our $20,000 investment from business funding. Now we had a 30-year loan. Then we turned around and we owner financed it to a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And that buyer put down $50,000 cash.
Yeah. And then they have balloon to be able to either refinance it out or buy it out in 5 years.
Yes. So this was a deal that none of the money came out of. It was a partnership we did. So none of the money came out of our pocket, all the partners' pocket. It came from business funding and hard money. We got all of our investment back when we refinanced on the property. And then we own and finance it for $50,000. When we went into the deal, $220,000. When we went into the deal, we went into it looking to flip it, or we're looking to lease option. But when this tenant came along, when this buyer came along and said she had $50,000, it didn't make sense to lease option her the house at $50,000. If she had $50,000 to put down, it made more sense to own and finance the house to her so she can have ownership, so she can start reaping the benefits of having that equity in the property.
Yep. All right. Any questions before we go to deal number 2? And I know that kind of answered your question, Tamika. Tamika said, what was the ARV? So the ARV.
And our original ARV was like 200. But when we owner financed it, there is no appraisal for it. So we basically chose our own number to owner finance it to make sure that when she put down her $50,000 down payment, that it was still balancing out with the mortgage that was left on the property from our refinance.
Yes.
And wraparounds are tricky. And you got to use the right attorneys to do them. Mm-hmm. But in this situation, that was our best exit strategy to make the most money.
Yeah.
We didn't pay any realtor fees in this situation.
Yeah, we didn't have any extra fees that came out. This was literally
a slam dunk type situation.
Move on to the next deal.
Yep.
All right. Y'all ready for deal number 2?
Deal number 2.
All right. So
we're gonna kind of go through that same journey and ask y'all questions. We kind of want y'all to see the full evolution of a deal from start to finish, not just kind of piecing it together. And a lot of times that helps people see a full situation.
I'm excited about deal number 2 because one, it's gonna close in the next few minutes.
They probably had to close now.
It's literally gonna close in the next few minutes. No, that is not a typo. The seller put down $50,000 on this seller finance deal.
No typo.
No typo.
No typo. And I'm gonna tell you why. The seller had an accident and she got a settlement. Mm-hmm. And she was looking to just buy a house cash. But we didn't want to take all the lady cash.
She literally had $200,000 from her settlement, and she was like, "Well, can I just buy it?" No, we're not going to take all your money. So what we did was we structured the deal so that she only put down 50. She was able to make decent mortgage payments because now we are the bank. It also covers the original loan, and then the balloon allows her to be able to refinance, recoup the equity because that area is constantly growing when it comes to equity.
Yep.
Recoup the equity so that as she refinances it out, she doesn't have to put any more money out of pocket.
Yep. So no typo. Straight 50.
50,000. Yep. All right. So let's go to deal number 2. Deal number 2 was literally founded by a realtor in our community.
Yep.
And she reached out and she said, "Hey, I am looking for someone to be the treasures." Everybody knows in a partnership, you're going to have time, talent, and treasure. Those are the 3 T's that happens in a partnership. And in that partnership, she was like, "I'm looking for a partner that has the treasures. I have a deal." The deal was it originally for 160 or did they want more? I believe they wanted more. They wanted more than 160, and they put it in our private Facebook group, and everybody was asking questions like, "How can I be a part of this deal?" Well, what happened was this realtor ended up teaming up with another realtor and mortgage broker, and this is how the deal went.
All right. Right. So just highlights about the deal that we want to highlight. They partner on the deal. The realtor found the deal.
Realtor 1 found the deal. Realtor 2 purchased the deal. Realtor 2 and mortgage broker purchased the deal.
Okay.
Which technically she's a realtor too. She's a commercial realtor. A bunch of realtors purchased this deal.
But it was a partnership though. And the thing that I want you to understand is that realtor 1 didn't bring any funds to the table. She found the deal and she managed the rehab. All right. They managed the rehab together. The second group of people, they borrowed money to do the deal also. Mm-hmm. So understand that there's multiple ways to do deals in real estate.
All right. So let's talk about it. All right. So how did they fund this deal? They funded this deal using creative financing. So instead of paying the seller the 160 or I think it was like 170 that the seller wanted. They paid the seller.
So I'm kind of how I broke down. Okay. So they end up giving the seller $6,000 at closing, and the balance was 160.
That was owed on the mortgage.
That they kind of agreed to give the seller once they sold. Mm-hmm. So they used. I don't want to jump the slides though.
Just go.
So the 32, they got 6,000 went to the original seller. Then they used the balance of the funds to rehab the property.
All right. So the rehab was 26,000,
and it was a light rehab. It wasn't no big project. Like that $60,000 project. I want to say that took us 5 months, maybe 4 or 5 months from start to finish. This deal was a 60-day type situation. It was a light rehab. They was in, they was out, paint, flooring, update kitchen, update bathroom, boom. It was a nice house already.
If you guys want to see pictures of this,
we're gonna drop pictures of both of them after.
Just put pictures, and we'll send it out to you along with the deal breakdown. So put pictures if you guys want it, and we'll make sure that we have the before and after pictures of both properties with the deal structure.
You're so smart, man.
All right.
Good job.
That way I can remember who wants it.
Okay.
All right. So how much rehab was required? 26,000 was required. It was very light cosmetic, in and out type of deal. All right. It was literally listed on the MLS. The rehab was done. So for everybody who think rehabs take a year, 6 months, this rehab was done literally in less than 60 days.
The whole deal was less than 60 days.
The whole deal was less than 60 days. All right. And once they listed the deal, I think, how many times did they get under contract? Was it just once?
I don't know to you.
Anyway, it don't even matter because they closing day. It's literally sold for $254,900. All right. So let's back into it, Tonio. I see you, D. D wants pictures. I see you, D.
Okay. So back into it. This is what I mean. This is a prime example of what I mean by reverse engineer the deal. So on this deal, after all fees and all expenses, the profit on this deal was like $51,000. All right. So realtor one and the second group, they're splitting $51,000. All right. But the key is the gap funder that lent them the $32,000, they're going to make $5,000 off the deal. All right. So for the person who lent $32,000, that's still a deal for them to make $5,000 in 60 days. Now, who wouldn't do that?
Right.
So it's still a win-win situation. And then the seller still got what she wanted out of the deal also.
The seller made a total of $46,000 is what the seller is making out of this deal. So they couldn't sell it right off that because they didn't have enough equity in it. But once the repairs were made in 60 days, now they're able, in 60 days, now they're able to recoup and make $46,000 when they really probably only was going to make 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the original seller of the property, she didn't pay the agent fees.
The agent commission.
The new buyers did. So she saved a lot of money by actually subject to it to this group.
So altogether, the partners on here are going to split $51,600 two ways. And they didn't have to use their own money. They didn't have to use their own cash. Even if they had to use their own money, it's still a deal.
Yep. So some highlights that I want you to take away from these two case studies. Highlight one is you can find deals multiple ways. The first study was through a wholesaler. The second one was through the MLS and a realtor. You can find deal multiple ways. The other thing I want you to understand is you can fund these deals multiple ways. All right. On the first deal, it was hard money and business funding. On the second deal, it was a subject to a gap funding. You can do it multiple ways. All right. You can exit these properties multiple ways. All right. On the first deal, we did a creative financing and a wraparound mortgage. On the second deal, it was straight MLS action, straight realtor action. You can do a big rehab or a small rehab. All right. So like we chose these two deals not only because they made over $40,000 on them, but also because they were done in different ways.
Mhm.
They weren't. People think that real estate is just cookie cutter. You can only make money one way in real estate. That's not true, y'all.
Yeah, there are multiple ways that you can enter a deal. There are multiple ways you can fund it and multiple ways that you can exit. And it is literally about making sure you have the right tools in your tool belt, in your toolbox, so that as the deals come, you know, okay, based on this deal, this is the strategy that I need to use. Based on these numbers, this is the strategy that I need to use. Literally, the numbers tell the story every time. All right, it tells you what you can and what you can't do.
I'm gonna add to this,
Okay.
and some people probably ain't gonna take it the right way, but it start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta believe this can be done.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like yes, you might think it can be done, but you really gotta believe it. You gotta move like you know it can be done. Like realtor one who bought this property, at first she didn't believe it can be done.
But
Let's be transparent. She did not believe it.
yeah, but realtor 2 and 3, they actually had did it before, so they understood that okay, this is what it looked like in my last deal. This is what the exit strategy was in my last deal. This is how we maneuvered it. These are the things that we did to get in and out of it. These are the hiccups that we had. So we already know we got those scars. We're not going to have the same scars. Now, will we have some new challenges? Absolutely. But they knew that it was possible. So I think that also goes to being around people who are like-minded is important. Being around a network, because logic tells you that this deal isn't for me. There's no way I'm gonna go from putting no money into a deal to making 40,000, 50,000, 25,000 in a deal that took absolutely none of my own money. But the moment you start to believe it, the moment you start putting in the offers, you got to put in some offers, all right? The moment you start doing that,
you got to start there.
Is when those deals start to unlock. That's when those opportunities get to unlock, and you get to be able to use those tools that's in your tool belt.
And one thing I will say is, it's not easy. I don't want you to think that what we're teaching is easy. I don't want you to think that it just happens overnight.
It does not.
It does not just happen overnight. Like it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking the second deal, for example, realtor one, it took time. For the group who bought it, it took time. They didn't just jump out the gate buying deals and making money. They took study. They put time into it. They put effort into it. And the thing I like to say it all the time, once it clicks,
y'all.
Once it clicks, y'all,
mm-hmm.
It's no stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say it till I'm blue in the face. Once it clicks that this is real and it can be done,
it's no stopping.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. If you guys want to see pictures of the before and after pictures of those deals, make sure you put pictures at the bottom, and we'll also include the case study breakdown with it. Put pictures, and we'll make sure we include it. I see a couple of you put it. Go ahead and add it, so that way we can do it.
On that $60,000 deal, that was an amazing transformation. So you would really want to see those pictures
on the
$60,000 rehab.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Questions?
Any questions, you guys?
Any questions about the different OPMs that we talked about? Did anyone not understand how one of those OPMs can actually be OPM? So just a quick recap of some of the ways that we can do OPM is you got a HELOC, you got self-directed IRAs, 401ks, IULs, you got hard money, private money, personal loan, business funding, business loans, seller financing options. Like all those ways, all of the different ways that you can use to get your career going.
Absolutely. I see y'all. I see your pictures.
All right.
All right.
Let's get out of here. We got a lot of stuff going on. Yes. But somebody on the team forgot to upload the pictures.
That would be me for 200.
I ain't called no name. No name. So I know we got a property walk through tomorrow in Hueytown.
We do. It is. Go ahead. You got a property walkthrough tomorrow. You be down. Finish with that. Don't mind me. Just keep talking.
I mean, you play with the screen.
Keep talking. I promise you, you'll figure it out.
We got a property walkthrough tomorrow in Hueytown, where we'll be walking through Quentin property on how he purchased the house, how he found the house, his rehab, his contractors, structuring the deal. We're gonna be doing all that tomorrow. We also have a speaking engagement on April
next week Tuesday,
next
April
week
8th,
Tuesday at the Vestavia
Civic Center,
where we're going to be talking. So come out and support. These are free events, by the way. Both of those were free events. We also have a virtual workshop at the end of the month coming up. So man, if you're not on our buy, or you're not buyers list, I'm thinking of buying a house.
Yeah, you're not buying a house.
Oh my God, I'm so real estate.
On our email list.
If you're not on our email list, man, drop your emails. You can get all the emails on all these different things that we got going on, so you can be up to date. We also got the Dynamic Funding Tour. That is a paid event. So get in the room. You will get lunch at the Dynamic Funding Tour. So get in the room. Let's connect with some people.
Absolutely. All right. Any questions? Happy hour tomorrow. Absolutely. The Stone is having a happy hour tomorrow. Oh, drop the location in the chat, Stone.
Stone and two other guys that we know really well, they are doing a happy hour for entrepreneurs, business people. Come out, support them, have a drink, man. It's gonna be a good environment. They do it every first and third Wednesday. So man, make sure you get in the place, man. Some good people to be around.
Absolutely.
That's the one of the things I highly encourage you is to make sure that you have a good circle around you. If everybody around you is negative, that's not a good circle. And I haven't said this in a minute, but people in your circle only do two things. All right. They either feed you fear or they feed you faith. And you got to pay attention to what they are feeding you. They are feeding you negativity. They're feeding you doubt. They're feeding you this can't be done. Those are the people you need to separate yourself from.
Immediately.
You need to get around people who's telling you what can be done, how you can do it, or these are the steps to do it, or these are the things we've done. Get around those type of people so that they can uplift you and they can motivate you to do better.
Absolutely. Tamar said, can you share some of your reputable hard money lenders? Absolutely. I would say go to denknowsfunding.com. And if you have a deal, we can literally get you a term sheet on our best lenders that we use. And if you need a pre-approval letter, you can also do a pre-approval letter request, and we can get you pre-approved and ready to make offers.
And I'm gonna add to that. So we have a brokering business, and one of the reasons we have a brokering business is because people used to ask that same question a lot. Hey, what lenders do you use? What you got? Understand that each deal is different. One lender doesn't fit all. You got certain lenders that lend under 100,000. You got other lenders that lend only over 100,000. You got certain lenders that do multifamily. You got certain lenders that do commercial. You got certain lenders that make you put 10% down. You got certain lenders that make you put 20% down. So like telling you a lender isn't really giving you nothing if we don't know the situation.
And you have some lenders that don't require any monthly payments while you have the loan. Like there's so many different ones, but literally finding out what that deal looks like and what is it that you need that fits you fits you the best. That's what we're dedicated to finding. All right.
We got lenders that do new construction loans. So like just asking for a lender is not what you really want. That's why we kind of created Denno's Funding so that we can help partner you with the right lenders to get what you're trying to get to. Like some people I just want the cheapest money. Then if you want the cheapest money, you're gonna put the more money down. Some people I just want to be the less out of pocket. If you want less out of pocket, you're gonna put more money down. All right. So it's different ways that lenders help. And there are some lenders that you just want to stay away from because they all bullshit. Just being honest with you.
Ooh, that's a scar. All right, so it's at Privilege Downtown, 2312 First Avenue North.
I'm driving tomorrow. I'll get me better. I'm pulling up.
No one needs to know that you
Get the
have.
shoulders loose in that thing. Woo.
You got your shoulders loose last night, right? Maybe not. All right. All right. Well, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta make it to this closing by any means. Y'all know I'm coming with the bottles. Just give me 5 minutes to go get one.
Pull up.
Love y'all. Have a wonderful day.